I see lots of beginners crashing their shiny new DJI Mini 4 Pros, and you see a lot of these crashes could easily be avoided if you just knew a few things beforehand and you prepped properly before your flight. So that's what I'm going to help you do today. So yeah, my name is Justin, and if you're new around here, it's great to see you, and if you've been here before, it's great to have you back. So let's get on to the first point, which is obstacle avoidance over dependence. Now the Mini 4 Pro has a full 360-degree obstacle avoidance system, which means that at all times whilst you're flying, these 4 cameras right here are constantly looking around and trying to see potential obstacles that you're going to go and crash into. Now, the obstacle avoidance system has its limitations. Now, these are outlined in the manual, but let's be honest, how many of you actually read the manual? But basically, the thing you need to bear in mind here is obstacle avoidance is not going to be able to see thin objects. So things like naked branches, so if there's no leaves on a tree branch, the chances are the obstacle avoidance isn't going to see it, especially if it's very thin. Things like electrical wires, telephone wires, all the things of that nature, the obstacle avoidance is really going to struggle to see. Their cameras, they're looking around, it's basically just like it's got extra eyes looking, and if it's really tiny little things, it's probably not going to see it, but a wire is definitely going to take your drone out of the sky. So what can you do to prevent this from happening? Obviously, obstacle avoidance has its limitations, and the best thing you can do here is just acknowledge those limitations and fly your drone in a way that respects its limits. So basically, if you're in an area and you know there's going to be telephone wires and things, don't put the drone at the same level as those wires. Instead, lift it up above them so that the obstacle avoidance system doesn't have to try and contend with them. Put it in clear space. I mean, the obstacle avoidance system is there to help you out, but you shouldn't be relying on it 100%. You want to put your drone somewhere where it's going to have a pretty clear and safe path anyway, depending on what maneuver or what shot it is that you're trying to capture. And the obstacle avoidance should really just be there as a kind of backup. Now, obviously, if you're walking through a forest and you want to capture a shot where the drone is tracking you, that's just what you're going to have to do. But in most situations, try and put your drone in a position where obstacle avoidance shouldn't be needed. And if it is needed, it will be able to do its job effectively. Now, something else that a lot of people don't know when it comes to obstacle avoidance is that obstacle avoidance is not active when you're flying in sport mode. So if you're flying in normal or cine mode, obstacle avoidance is active and working, but if you're in sport mode, it is deactivated. Now, this is because a number of factors. One is it's nice to have a flight mode where obstacle avoidance actually isn't active in case you want to fly close to things. And 2, because the speed in sport mode is so much faster, the drone won't be able to see these obstacles in time in order to process them and then fly safely around them. So cine and normal, you've got obstacle avoidance. Sport mode, it's not there. Now, if you need to learn a little bit more about obstacle avoidance settings and things like that, I do have a fully dedicated video that I will link in the description that you can go and check out after watching this one. Now, the next one, this is going to be the actual #1 cause of crashes for people, and it's going to be situational awareness. There's a massive bird flying over there. I just caught it in the corner of my eye. Now, that is something that is situational awareness. I was aware that there was a bird in my periphery. I'm aware of what's going on around me, and you should be doing exactly the same when you're flying your drone. So when you arrive at a location, like I've just arrived at this little palm tree path thing, have a good look around, see what the potential obstacles are, where the hazards are, and make sure that you're fully aware of all the potential risks, especially if, like I said, there were things like thin wires and branches. Make sure you're aware of all of those potential hazards. Now, once you've done that and you're now actually flying, you need to be situationally aware of where your drone is. So basically, try and remember where you've flown and create a sort of visual map in your head. And if you're going to be moving in a direction that is not straightforward, basically not the direction of natural travel, look before you move. So if you're going to strafe to the right and you're a bit unsure if there's anything there, literally turn the drone to the right, have a look. Oh, it's clear. Turn back and then move to the right. Like, you wouldn't just start walking to the left without looking where you were going, or walking backwards if you just were unsure if there was anything behind you. You'd have a look behind you, and then fly backwards. It's just simple things. Just try and treat it with sort of common sense, situational awareness before you move off in a direction. If you're unsure if the direction is clear, have a look, check it's clear, and then move in that direction. And that way, you're not just going to fly into something that was there that you weren't aware was. Now, along with situational and environmental awareness, you also need to have good aircraft awareness. So you should be monitoring things like your battery level, your signal strength, These different things are going to be key because if you start to lose signal as you're flying towards some obstacles, there is a sort of breakup period from when the signal starts to go to when it basically fully goes and then return to home is activated. And also when it comes to battery percentage, the drone is going to be telling you all the time your accurate battery percentage, your estimated remaining flight time. And if it thinks you're going to struggle to make it home, it's going to literally tell you, time to come back. We don't have enough battery to carry on flying this mission. So pay attention to those alerts. Your drone probably knows a little bit better than you, especially in the beginning. So take note of what it's saying, be aware of your aircraft and its position, the wind conditions, all of these different kinds of things. And you should be in a much better standing when it comes to, well, not having a crash. The next thing I want to cover is you want to just take it slow in the beginning. So you wouldn't just go and learn to drive in a Bugatti Chiron, you would go and learn to drive in a Ford Fiesta. And it's the same thing with your drone. Now, although you don't learn to fly on a rocket drone, it's the same kind of principle. You take things slow in the beginning and then you build up as you become more confident. So when you start off in cine mode, take things nice and slow, get to grips with how the drone responds to all your different movement inputs, how it actually moves, what the different sticks do, and then build up your confidence as you become more and more comfortable with it. Then you can, progress to normal and sport mode. And then when things are starting to move faster, by the time you've got to that stage, you're already more in tune with what the sticks are doing and you'll know better how to react in different situations. So take things slow, build it up, don't just go full bore straight away, because like if you put a learner in a Bugatti Chiron and they just dropped the clutch and floored it, they'd probably end up in a wall somewhere. So you'd probably end up with the same thing with your drone. The next one that I see people doing is quite interesting, and I think they literally hate themselves for doing it immediately after they've done it, and that's trying to fly their mini drone inside their house. Now, you get your drone, I get it, you're excited, you take it out of the package and you're like, oh, I just want to try it out, and you're in your living room, you fire it up, and then you take it off, and then something goes wrong and it flies up, smashes into the ceiling, and before you even got it outside, it's going back to DJI. Now, please resist the temptation to fly your drone in your living room as soon as you get it. There's a lot more that can go wrong here than can go right. You're inside, it's going to struggle to get a GPS signal lock, and these drones rely heavily on GPS signal for positioning. And if you're basically inside and it's a dark environment, it's also going to struggle with obstacle avoidance and visual positioning sensors. And all of these things combined can make the drone basically react not how it would react normally and will inevitably cause a crash if the conditions aren't correct. Now, these drones can safely be flown indoors if you know how to do it, but when you've just bought your drone and you take it out of the box to fly in your living room, there's a very high chance that you're going to crash it and probably damage your lovely new TV at the same time. So don't do it, resist it, take it outside and fly it out there first. So if you're new to drones and this space, you can sign up to my completely free weekly newsletter where I give you the latest drone news, hot tips, and also give you a bit of an insight into what's going on in my life, my last week when it comes to drones, all different things like that. You can sign up completely for free down in the description. I'll leave a link in there, so go and check that out. And also, if you're brand new to drones and you want to make sure you get started off on the right foot, I have a beginner to advanced drone videography course, which will literally take you from somebody, you can either have never flown a drone before, or you can have been flying for a while, but you just want to take things to the next level. You want to reach that pinnacle of footage. My drone course will do exactly that for you. 15 modules, jam-packed full of value. I'll leave a link to that in the description too. Go and check that one out. But let's move on to the next point. So the next point is going to be when you actually take it out of the box and you've gone outside to do your first flights, you want to spend a bit of time flying the drone line of sight as well as through the control screen. Now, what does line of sight mean? Line of sight basically means you're looking at the drone in real space rather than looking at the camera image on the screen. So basically, when you're flying the drone via line of sight, you're actually physically looking at the drone whilst controlling it, and this comes with some quirks. So when you're flying the drone and it's pointing away from you, all the controls feel how you would expect them to. But when you spin the drone around and it's facing towards you, things like moving left to right and forwards and backwards will feel reversed on the sticks. Now, nothing has actually changed here. The drone is still reacting how it would naturally, but it's just the basic, your perspective has changed. You're now looking at the drone head on. So when you push forward on the sticks, it comes forwards towards you rather than what you think it would do and go forwards away from you. So spend a bit of time and practice line of sight as well as practice flying through the screen. Okay, it's starting to get pretty hot out here, so I'm going to wrap up now on the final point, and the final point is when it comes to flying in adverse conditions. Now, a lot of people are wondering, can I fly my drone in the rain? How windy can it be to fly it? Build up to things like this. Now, flying in the rain is not recommended in any stretch of the imagination. Now, I have flown this drone in some very light rain and it's been fine, but I don't recommend that you go out and actively try and fly in the rain, because water and electronics, they mix too well for our good. They love each other and then they make sparks and then our drone falls out the sky. So try and avoid doing that. And when it comes to wind conditions, the drone can actually tolerate an extremely high level of wind, probably more than you think it can, but just build up to that. Make sure you're confident and you're comfortable flying your drone in those conditions. And I do have a full video on how to fly your drone in high wind conditions. Again, that will be linked in the video description, but that is basically it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Try not to crash your drone. You'll also enjoy this video right here, and you'll also get value out of watching this video right here. So thank you for watching again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.